Mark, hit us with a recap of the events of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 7, Number 9, to the best of your ability.
This story opens a long time ago when life was simple. Peter is shopping in a department store with Aunt May, and she wants him where she can see him. But instead, he's hiding in a sea of suit jackets and playing with his Captain America action figure. I wonder if after Uncle Ben died, Aunt May gave someone his old suit jackets, but then demanded a meal in return. And no, soup is not a meal. It's gold, Jerry. I digress. We flash back to now, and the shocker has been redesigned, and he's wrecking stuff. Okay, in the immortal words of Vincent Hanna, let's go, motherfucker. I don't know, that's my terrible Al Pacino. Peter walks out into the street, hoo-ah, with a boot and a cane, and does nothing. Well, at least he's alive, right? Nothing weird about any of this, especially to those of us who experienced Amazing Spider-Man 698's dying wish in real time. That's what we are getting here, right? On Peter's phone, Jonah rails on his threats and menaces broadcasts about the rampant crime and Spider-Man's inaction, including returning his calls. The nerve. But Peter is happy and smiling and walking into Rand Enterprises because of course he is. He and Brian make a nice goofy presentation about mushrooms, which impresses Dr. O.M. despite Brian's misogyny masked as silliness. Brian tries to be a wingman for Peter with one of their co-workers, but Peter is uninterested because he has a girlfriend. Wait, I thought Shay and him were an exclusive. Then Peter runs into Norman Osborn, who's all like, sorry the medieval-looking guy beat the ever-living crap out of you, but when are we going to talk about my attacker from like 7 issues ago? Also, the Hobgoblin is still at large. Also, talk to Aunt May. Also, just shut up, Norman. Oh, God. Which is Peter speaking for all of us, but we don't get a monologue about how he and Norman are best buddies, which is just as suspicious as anything else, given this current creative run. Then we check in on May and Ricardo. And Ricardo is still going on about Peter being a drunk and a druggie. And I think we finally found a new supporting character that surpasses Paul in insufferability. And the spot formerly occupied by Nathan Lubezki and J. Jonah Jameson Sr. now passes to Ricardo. How long until he dies from a mysterious, unexplained illness? May reluctantly acknowledges that Peter hasn't been talking to her, but there's one more tactic she's going to try. I bet this is an approach that won't be something that will probably just piss everyone off, both in comic and outside reading the comics. Anyway. So now we're hanging out with the villains. Man, a lot of check-ins here. It's Tombstone and Shocker, and the two of them have an alliance. And I'm still like, Shocker? Like Herman Schultz? What is happening here? Is someone finally acknowledging that Superior Foes of Spider-Man is canon? Nick Spencer's like, ka-ching. The narrative shifts back to Peter limping around as he returns to his apartment, and it's Mary Jane. Oh boy, here we go. MJ wants Peter to... That was my other Al Pacino.
Okay, yeah. No, that was unmistakable, Mark.
Okay, God. Anyway, MJ wants Peter to know that Aunt May is worried about him, while Peter's inner monologue mulls over a lost past. And again, my ASM 698 alarms are ringing. It's like a Kindred alarm, but more annoying, maybe. I don't know. There's more behind MJ's visit, you see. She wants Peter to know that he's always been a friend. And with that as context, she reveals herself as Venom. And Peter's nonplussed. He chuckles and says he thought maybe she wanted to get back together. Wouldn't the internet love that in the same week she broke up with Paul? But instead, he insists that she should just stick with Venom since the two of them deserve each other. Whatever that means. Okay, so now we finally check back in with the supporting cast du jour, Randy and Shay, and both are talking about Peter going radio silent ever since his accident. Wait a second, didn't Peter say he had a girlfriend earlier? I'm confused. Spider Office, is this some kind of misdirection going on here? Dare I say a new mystery box? We have like a mystery box theme, Dan? We should do that. And indeed, Shay is like, Peter hasn't been the same since his accident. which they've been told was a hit and run despite there being no record of it in the medical records. And didn't that happen to occur on the same day that the Elder Scrolls-style maniac was tearing up Columbus Circle and battling Spider-Man? And right on cue, Captain Kintsugi shows up, and while Randy is like, "Who is that?" I'm saying the same thing, Randy. It turns out that Shay recognizes him because she was also there that day at Columbus Circle. So we now know Shay is the one person who likes to hit the Mr. Softy truck at Central Park at 7 in the morning on a weekday. Maybe she should check herself into Ravencroft for evaluation. As much as Dan and I hate Canadian bacon, I think we agree it's more of a breakfast food than ice cream. That's a Dan insertion. I might disagree with that, Dan, but that's okay. So anyway, back to the Captain Kintsugi, who gets beaten down by a bunch of guys with shocker gauntlets with the intent to liquefy him with sound. Randy and Shay are horrified. Who will stop these thugs from taking down long-standing Amazing Spider-Man supporting cast member Captain Kintsugi? But wait, there's a web, and then someone tackles one of the henchmen from the shadows as if he's Batman. And then the reveal, and it's not an early launch of the upcoming Marvel and DC crossovers, no! Spider-Man is back, baby! After one issue, kinda. And I guess all my fears about this being an Amazing Spider-Man number 698 character swap were unfounded. At least, maybe, I guess?